I just wanted to quickly talk about a special book that has made my life easier in many profound ways. And it's called The I-Ching, or the Book of Changes. I wouldn't necessarily call it a book per se. I think it's more than just a measly book, because people have used the I-Ching for crazy things far behind my own comprehension, such as the unraveling of human DNA. But I only use it for divination purposes, but if you're curious, you can look more into it. My knowledge of the I Ching is surprisingly limited. I can't really explain to you why or how this stuff works because it's such a vast and complex thing. And I just want to make note that this I Ching does not necessarily predict the future. Whatever knowledge people have about divination and fortune telling, you should just drop those ideas and take a look at the I Ching from a new perspective. A clean slate, if you will. So, the most basic and most common way to use this book is you focus your mind on the situation you want answers from. You flip some coins, look up your hexagram, and then receive some insight on your situation. I've used the book many times and digested the information I received. Some information was useful to me, some I just pushed to the side. Sometimes, however, I would get a reading that was shockingly accurate to my current situation, and the wealth of advice I received, if I applied it, would shift my problem into a more positive and desirable direction. So, as time moved on and I looked back, I found that my own arrogance and impatience was a direct hindrance to solving my own issues. Some of my rash, stubborn decisions were not a good way to tackle the obstacles in my experience. I realized that if I had followed the I Ching's advice, I could have avoided such a crisis or found a better way to handle the situation. Like I said, I don't know how this book works, but it can be magical at times. So you first need to look up how to use the coins and read the hexagrams if you don't already know how. There's plenty of online tutorials that'll show you. There is a more accurate way to get a reading using multiple sticks, but coins are more simple and used by people who don't really want to get too deep into it. You don't necessarily have to buy a book, as there are some free translations online with all the hexagrams included, but I just like having a physical copy to carry around with me. And one more thing, I would not recommend consulting the I Ching for trivial, naughty, or nefarious intentions. I just heard that it is considered disrespectful to the I Ching. Anywho, I definitely recommend you look into the I Ching. It's a book that's got tons of wisdom to share.